everybody. Mike Pfeiffer with Pfeiffer Hobby Supply. Today we're going to do update 55 and show you what I've gotten done. And we're going to record it on the new S23 Samsung phone and see how this turns out visually. Hope it works out well. But anyway, let's get with it and see what's happening on the ACT. Okay, everybody. The first thing that you're going to see here is the fact that I put a bunch of trees and stuff in here. And you can see all the way down that way. I have done some ground cover on there and put in trees. You also notice, or may notice, that there's vehicles in there. Vehicles on the road, and there's vehicles parked down there. If I was down there, you could see more. I still don't have the plaster done down there on the end, but I'm saving that for maybe tomorrow. But let's swing back around. Another thing that you will notice as I swing all the way around is that the layout is cleaned off and pretty much free of litter right now. But let's move the camera a little bit and I'll show you what I got. Okay, the biggest thing I've done, you can probably already see in this picture, is that I have ballasted all the track down here and up here. And if I swing the camera around, you can see that I've ballasted, well, I don't know if you can see, but I've ballasted all the way back into the corner over there. And I have ballasted all the way around to the double crossover right over here. Trying to get my hand-eye coordination working. It's just not working. But there's a double crossover right over here. But I have it to right down about here. And you can see that I painted the sides of the rails. And I have the ballast down. It is still wet, by the way. So maybe tomorrow, if it's sufficiently dry, I will stain it. And when I say stain it, I think you guys have seen what I do. But right over there, you can tell where the stain ends and the raw ballast keeps on going. So that'll be the next modus operandi. And you can see that I have added, the reason I was able to ballast this is because I've got all the scenery material back in here. I've got yuccas, I've got cows placed in there, some trees, some foliage, painted some of the rock faces along here. And so far I think it looks pretty good. And if I swing around this way a little bit, right over there, I believe it's there, you can see that I put in the little metal pump jack that I had. And I think it looks pretty cool over there. It fits in with the background. I guess it's right over there. But anyway, you can see it. And I got all the foliage and stuff around the bottom of the pueblo and the church back there. I do want to put just a little bit of, like a walkway up into the church and so forth. Just a tiny bit of detail, just to give it a little more depth there. You may also be able to see, I can't see it in the back of the camera here because of the way my mount works, the mount I have works. But on the top of the mesa right there, there's a cross. And out here in the Southwest, that seems to be pretty popular. So it may be other places too. So that has a cross on top of it. And I'm going to try and back up a little bit here. And I'm on a stool. But if I continue to turn around this way, hopefully I won't get me in the camera. But you can see that this whole ridge back here is all scenic as well. What I still need to do is there's a couple places over here where the bottom of the 3D backdrop is a little bit sparse, and I want to try and cut some pictures out of some magazines or something, and that appear to be the right size, and paste them or glue them on on the backdrop back there to make it look like there's buildings behind that cut. That's one of the other things I got to do. I can almost do that anytime. It's pretty easy. But for right now, that's about it here. I'll take the camera down to the other end and just show you the nothing that I have there. Okay, guys, so here's a little bit closer picture of the mesa and the church and so forth back there. And just swinging around here by hand, trying to do it slowly. And on down to the trees at the town. And if I turn the camera down a little bit, you can see that I ended the new ballast right here at this double crossover. So, and I guess I could take you over here and put you a little closer to the action. I think it all blends in pretty well. If I stand back here and just pan it a little bit, I like it. And mind you, now that I have yuccas and stuff here in the foreground and so forth, once I get this scenery done down to about this point, which I'm close enough, then I can start laying track out and stuff and start putting buildings out here and see where things are going to fit. But for right now, we're not going to overstate that. This picture here is just to show you that I do have most of the top of the layout cleaned off at the moment. By the way, I have a train parked over here because I had to get it out of the yard because I had to make sure there was some track over there that worked before I started doing ballasting. In fact, let me go over there and talk to you about that real quick. I don't know if you guys remember seeing it in the other pictures, but I had a turnout right over here, and I had a turnout right over here. And there was a little short siding right in here, and that was going to be used for the fertilizer plant. But I decided that I'd rather put all the stuff on the branch line, regardless of what fits and what doesn't. So that came out. And it's not going to be too long here. And this track that we have spoken about many times before, all the way around to my tripod, it always gets in there. I think it walks over there. But anyways, over to there, where it goes down below to the reverse loop, I got to get all that track out of there so I can put or start setting. Sorry about the fingers. I'm not used to this camera, obviously. I have all of these buildings down here and then buildings in that tub down there and just all kinds of stuff. And mind you, there's the entire fertilizer plant, those green buildings. And then I have drawers here that are full, not full, but have a lot of the buildings that came off of the layout, the old layout. So I have a station, I have the trading post, I have another station, I have part of the oil facility, I have the little gas station, the Hogan, bunch of buildings that were in the background, the crane for the recycling place, the scrap metal place, all the houses, Sierra Madre packing, the taco. Anyways, you get the idea. I have several drawers here full of that kind of stuff. And I eventually have to get it out here on the layout and see where it's going to fit. So that's that. Okay, you can see that I have this cleaned off down here. Nothing new down here. I don't have one stinking thing new down here, and I don't really have this totally complete, but you can see there's some cars parked at the bowling alley. Nothing really new here, but I am going to swing around and show you another thing I have done slowly. You remember this gun, but I don't think I ever showed you that gun. You recognize the one on top being my Henry. The one on the bottom is a green stock Remington nylon that my dad bought me when I was about 12 years old. Still shoots like a champ. I don't shoot very much, but anyway, they're two of my favorites, and I hung them on the wall in here. Nothing much else going on here. I did clean up most of the junk in here. I have done a little bit of painting in here lately, and currently I am working on a weirdo model. So when in between that, I'm working on the layout. But as soon as that tomorrow or whenever that ballast down there dries, I can tint that. And when I get that track all operational again to where the locomotives go around, I think I might start setting some buildings out and see how that branch line is going to work. But we'll see. Okay, one other thing. Well, there's two other things that I'm going to show you. But I acquired these from a gentleman who's been a railroader here in town for a long time. He's also an engineer. He has not a railroad engineer, but an engineer. And he just had tons and tons of books, and we'll get to that in a second. But I bought these two lamps for $25 a piece. And yes, that's a good deal. This one here we know has a original globe, Adelaide globe. This one here is they're both SP, and oops, it's upside down. Hang on. I believe you can see SPCO there. This one here, I'm not too sure about that globe, if it's a repro globe or not. But you can also see that this one says SPCO. So I bought them both, and I'm not sure if I'm going to sell one and keep one or what the case is, because I don't have a lot of space to hang stuff. But we'll get to that. But let me show you what else was, what really prompted me to go to his house. Okay, it's kind of dark down here in my cabinet, but those of you who are familiar with railroad books probably can spot the jewel here in amongst these books. And it's this book right here, The Shay Locomotive, Titan of the Timber, by Michael Koch. It's, I had a copy of it before, and when the price on them reached about $425 to $450, I sold it. But I asked him when he told me he had a bunch of books, I said, do you happen to have this particular book? He looked around, called me back the next day, and he said, yes, I do. And so I bought it again. This one, I'm not going to take it out of there and show you anything about it, but take my word for it. It's a very elegant book. You can see that in this picture it looks a little whitish here, but the cover of it is actually yellowish. So I don't know if this was purposely white or not, but the cover on this book is perfect. The book inside there is perfect. This particular book is filled with Shay locomotive pictures, paintings actually, by different people. And each one of those paintings has a piece of vellum over the top of it that describes what is in the picture and who did the picture. And it's quite a thorough Shay locomotive book. And look them up sometime and see what they're going for. I think currently they're going for about $395 to $400. But I'm getting money from doing the estate that I'm doing for the lady here, and I have no reason to sell the book this time. So this one I'm keeping. I got this one over there, and I also got this Pacific Coast Shay book. And I got a little one here, Shay instruction sheets from the Service Department of Lehman Locomotives. It's quite interesting. Anyway, that was my haul, and I guess that's all you need to know. Okay, everybody, there you have it. And I hope you enjoyed the video today. I hope the camera works. We'll see that when I go to edit it. If it doesn't, you guys won't even see this video, or you won't even have seen it. That's a weird thing. Anyways, hope you enjoyed it, and as usual, thanks for watching.